Week 12 delivered exactly what college football fans crave: chaos, clarity, and just enough confusion to keep the playoff race wide open. As the sun moved across Saturday's slate, the postseason picture shifted again and again, leaving contenders scrambling and the committee with more questions than answers. The biggest shockwave came when Oklahoma marched into Tuscaloosa and walked out with a stunning win over Alabama. Somehow, in one of the toughest environments in the sport, the Sooners cracked open the bracket and sent the Tide tumbling out of their comfortable position. Alabama isn't finished by any stretch. That win over Georgia still gives their resume real punch, but they're no longer riding the smooth road they expected. Instead of a cushy home quarterfinal, they may now face a hostile trip with their playoff lives on the line. And in a twist, the SEC actually benefited from the chaos. The league is positioned to push a massive group of teams into the postseason, with a real chance of landing 5 bids and even a faint possibility of 6 depending on what happens when Georgia meets Texas in Athens. Earlier in the day, for a brief moment, it felt like the entire bracket might implode. Wisconsin pushed Indiana. South Carolina exploded out to a huge lead over Texas A&M. Navy and South Florida traded big plays. Notre Dame couldn't separate from Pitt. It was the kind of early window that makes fans lean forward and wonder if a full-scale realignment of the field is coming. But eventually, the sport corrected itself. By the final whistles, most of the top contenders had steadied the ship. Still, the group of 5 race turned sharply once again as South Florida's late stumble reshaped the committee's top choice. With that loss, the American Conference tightened dramatically, and Tulane suddenly holds the inside track, boosted by the strength of earlier wins over Northwestern and Duke. The weekend actually began with a quieter but equally meaningful shift. Clemson walked into Louisville and delivered a result that turned the ACC upside down. That win breathed fresh life into Duke, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and others chasing a spot in Charlotte, while putting Miami in a position where it may need an at-large bid to stay alive. It was another reminder that the ACC remains impossible to figure out from one week to the next. Across the country, meaningful games still loom, and the playoff picture is anything but settled. Week 12 didn't just shake things up, it set the stage for a wild finish that could redefine the entire postseason.